Good morning, everyone. I'm sitting in the bunk. So my stuff up there falling off the top. I'm sitting here in the bunk in the compound up here in the Santa Cruz Mountains, where I've been helping with organization up here. And I wanted to do another interval video for you. Having my coffee helps put my eyeballs up instead of like this. I wanted to give you an interval video that more Ask Me Anything videos are coming. This is the time. Some of you will be watching back at this at a later time. But right now, the fires in LA are happening, and they're pretty horrific. And there's a lot of people focusing on, well, who caused this and who caused that. But my heart is breaking, especially thinking of all the wild animals that are being displaced. And the domesticated animals who are so scared. Many of whom their humans couldn't find, like they've run away, or their humans are away from the house when all this started going down and they can't get back into their houses. And I mean, it's bad enough for us humans, but we can kind of somehow wrap our brains around it. But the animals are just freaking out. And of course, it's horrible for the people, and I'm such an empath, as all of you know, that it's pretty horrific right now. And yes, there's a lot of reasons why it's terrible, and we can point a lot of fingers and blame in why it's terrible. But right now, my heart is just breaking. And so I've gone into what I do always, which is I just go into love and action service mode. And so I've been a little drained and not able to do the Ask Me Anything videos because, as you can see, my heart is just breaking, and I've also just gone into action mode. So I've been vetting organizations and making sure, like, who are some of the best on the ground community organizations, because of course there's like the Red Cross and the Salvation Army and all those bigger groups, and bless their hearts, they have, they're amazing and they mobilize immediately, and that's awesome. But they also have really big overhead. And meanwhile, there's these incredible groups on the ground in communities just mobilizing right there and doing amazing things. And so I spent a couple of days on the phone and on the email nonstop trying to figure out who were some of the best groups and individuals. There's even individuals. Like there's one woman who is married to a lawyer, and they just like opened up their law firm. They've just like pretty much come to a halt with everything else they were doing. They handed off a lot of their cases to other law firms, and they just opened up their office and have been finding on the risk line families with children who've been displaced and getting them into hotels and getting them food and getting the kids games to play with and making sure that they have diapers and like the basic necessities. And they've been mobilizing drop-off points every single day and doing all these things, and they just sprung into action right away because it was needed. And then there's these other groups who are solidarity groups that have been solidarity groups for a long time, doing all different kinds of things, but they've of course spun into action around the fires. And so I've just been vetting different groups because of course there's a lot of GoFundMes popping up, and that's great, but I really want to find like the on the ground community groups. And so I did that for a few days, and I've been connecting them with different people who are wanting to help, and I've been doing all of that. And now I'm focusing on fundraising through Circle of Life. We set up a Give Lively campaign, which is a way for people to donate any amount, $5, $20, whatever. You automatically get a tax deduction receipt. And I'm focusing on buying masks in bulk because what are they called? I clearly haven't had enough coffee yet. The N, that's what they are. The N95. I've got it in my computer and in my phone. This isn't the brain. This is a pasta strainer. The N95 masks and the N95 respirators are very expensive. And so if you buy them in small amounts, they're very expensive. But if we buy them in bulk, the price goes way down. So I started fundraising so I can buy bulk of those and then bring them and some other things down. And I've been calling larger stores in the area, and so far haven't had success because they only have one person who works with donations, and they've been out sick and all this other stuff, but I keep trying, and trying corporate warehouses and all different kinds of things to also get, like with Costco, get large amounts of food and things like that, because up here it's not hit by the fires, so I can get donations up here where all the places down there have been tapped out already. So I can bring down the masks, and then just as much as I can fit in my van and head down and deliver the masks in portions to all the different groups that are on the ground in community, and then figure out while I'm on the ground there what are going to be some of the ongoing needs that are harder to meet, because food and clothing and things like that, a lot of them are getting tons of that, just because it's easier for people to get that wherever they are and bring it to them. But things like masks, which are going to be an ongoing need for quite a long time, are a lot more expensive, and so buying them in bulk is the way to go, and so that's what I'm focusing on right now. But I wanted to give you that update. I'm not ignoring you. I appreciate your support again, and just know that your support is making it possible for me to focus on rapid response to what's happening. And some of what I did in the first days was just figuring out what the animals needed. There's a video that I saw of a man flipping out because he had come home and his neighborhood was on fire, and the firefighters were already trying to douse his house, bless their heart, and they knew they couldn't save the house, but they're just trying to stop the fires. And he was jumping up and down, and he was screaming, and he was crying, "Please get my cat, please get my cat." And the firefighters, bless their heart, were like, "I don't know, man," because his house was up in flames. And they're like, we're gonna try. And the man kept trying to run into his house after his cat. And they had to keep pulling him back, and they're like, "We're trying, sir, we're trying our best." And they found the cat. They risked their lives to find the cat, and they did. And they handed it over the fence to him, and he dropped to the ground, just crying, and they gave him water in a bowl so that he could pour the water onto the cat because it had smoke inhalation and burns. And he sat there rocking back and forth with this cat and putting the water on him, and he was keening, the kind of crying that's not even crying anymore. And his house was burning to the ground, and he was losing everything he had. And he was so grateful that they found his cat. That's all he's going to have left in the world. And that was the one thing he cared about more than anything. And there's groups down there providing a lot of care for the burnt animals and the smoke inhalation and the animals who've lost their homes. Animals got scared and ran away from their humans, and the humans had to run too. And so there's all these shelters popping up to provide temporary care and asking people to foster in the interim until they can connect the families with homes and with animals and all these different things. So that's what's going on right now. So I haven't forgotten about you. I'm just holding you in my heart as well with gratitude, and just know that I'm directly involved right now with what's happening down in LA. And I will be back to your questions soon. And I love you and thank you.